Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing English stories. Many people dream of speaking English fluently. I remember when I was a young student just like you. I also wanted to speak English confidently, but I felt shy and made lots of mistakes. Then one day my teacher told me, "You can speak fluently if you practice every day." Those words changed my life. Learning English is like growing a tree. First, you plant a small seed. Then, you water it daily and let the sun shine on it. Slowly, the tree grows tall and strong. In the same way, fluency doesn't happen overnight. You have to work on it every day. Once, a student named Sarah came to me looking upset. She said, "Teacher, I want to speak English, but I always forget the words." I smiled and told her, "Don't worry. Fluency isn't about remembering every word, it's about practicing." Sarah looked hopeful and asked, "How can I practice?" I replied, "Practice is everywhere. You can talk to your friends, listen to stories, or sing songs. Every moment is a chance to practice." When I was in school, I loved listening to stories. My teacher would read to us and I'd repeat the words. At first I was slow, but over time I learned new words, became faster, and gained confidence. Another student, Arif, once asked me, "Is fluency just about speaking fast?" I said, "No, fluency means speaking clearly so others understand you. It's not about speed, it's about confidence." Arif used to speak very fast and no one understood him. I told him, "Slow down, speak clearly, and use simple words." He listened to my advice, and soon everyone could understand him. His confidence grew, and he started enjoying English. Fluency is like a journey. You take small steps, enjoy the process, and one day you'll look back and see how far you've come. I've seen many students who were afraid to speak at first, but with daily practice, they became fluent. There's a secret to fluency. Do you know what it is? It's listening. Listen to others speak English. Listen to stories, songs, and conversations. The more you listen, the more you learn. I once knew a girl named Amina who loved music. She listened to English songs every day and started singing along. Her fluency improved because she was always listening. So remember, the more you listen and practice, the better you will become. Mistakes are a natural part of learning, so don't be afraid of them. Mistakes are our best teachers. I remember a student named Anaya who was very scared of making mistakes. She avoided speaking because she thought people might laugh at her. I told her, "Don't worry about making mistakes. Each one is a chance to learn." One day she finally decided to speak in class. She made many mistakes but didn't stop. Slowly she got better and came to me saying, "Teacher, I'm not scared anymore." That was the moment her journey to fluency truly began. Fluency also means thinking in English. If you think in English, speaking becomes natural. I once taught a boy named Zion, who always translated from his native language to English before speaking. This made him slow and unsure. I told him, "Try thinking in English, even when you're alone." He practiced, and over time, his fluency improved. Then there was a student named Umar who loved talking. He would start speaking in English but often switched back to his native language. I advised him, "Stay in English. Even if you don't know a word, describe it in English." This helped him focus, and soon he was confidently speaking only in English. Reading is another powerful way to improve fluency. When you read, you see how sentences are built and learn new words. When I was learning English, I read simple books. Every time I found a new word, I'd write it down and use it in sentences. This helped me remember and use those words when speaking. One day, Anaya came to me with a book. She said, "Teacher, I read this, but I didn't understand everything." I smiled and told her, "That's okay. The more you read, the more you'll understand." She started reading daily, and after some time she told me, "Now I understand much more." Her fluency improved because she kept reading and learning something new every day. Another great tip is to listen to yourself. Sometimes, recording yourself speaking and listening back can help you notice areas to improve. I had a student named Noor who did this every day. She would record herself reading a story, then listen to find mistakes. This practice helped her understand her speech better, and soon she became fluent. Lastly, practicing with a friend makes learning more fun and effective. Speaking together builds confidence and helps you improve faster. I once had two students, Ali and Hassan, who were best friends. They made a promise to speak only in English with each other every day. They had conversations, helping one another with words they didn't know. Over time, both became fluent and they enjoyed learning together. This shows how fluency grows when you use the language in real-life situations. For example, if you visit the market, try speaking in English. If you're with friends, use English in your conversations. The more you practice in real life, the more confident and fluent you become. I remember a student named Saad who worked in a shop. He decided to speak only in English with his customers. At first, it was tough, but with time he became more confident and fluent. Being curious also helps improve fluency. When you hear a new word, don't ignore it. Find out its meaning and use it in your next conversation. I once had a student, Hania, who was very curious. Whenever she heard a new word, she asked me what it meant, and then practiced using it. Her vocabulary grew quickly, and so did her fluency. It's important to have a clear goal. Ask yourself, why do I want to be fluent in English? When you have a goal, it motivates you to keep practicing. I had a student, Zara, whose dream was to travel to an English-speaking country. Every day she practiced speaking because she wanted to be ready for her trip. Her goal kept her motivated, and she became fluent before her journey. I also tell my students to enjoy the learning process. Fluency doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. But if you enjoy the journey, it feels easier. I remember a student, Adil, who loved watching English movies. He started with subtitles, but after a while, he watched without them. He had fun with the movies while improving his fluency at the same time. Repetition is another key to fluency. The more you repeat, the better you become. I once had a student, Nita, who loved to repeat sentences. She would hear something in class and repeat it until it became natural for her. Soon, she was using those sentences in daily conversations. Speaking with different people also helps. Everyone has their own way of speaking, and when you interact with many people, you learn new styles and expressions. I remember a shy student, Armin, who only spoke to me. I encouraged him to talk to other students. At first, he was nervous, but gradually, he became comfortable and learned new ways of expressing himself. Finally, talk about topics you love. When you discuss something you're passionate about, the words come more easily and your confidence grows. I once had a student, Bilal, who was passionate about football. Every day, he would talk to me about his favorite players, matches, and teams. Because he was so excited about the topic, he spoke more confidently, and his fluency improved naturally. Speaking about something you love makes it easier to find words and stay motivated. Fluency also comes from understanding that it's okay not to know everything. Sometimes you might forget a word, and that's perfectly fine. Try to explain it in another way. I remember a student, Amina, who always stopped speaking if she didn't know the exact word. I told her, "Don't stop, describe the word instead." This advice helped her keep conversations going, even when she didn't have all the vocabulary. One of my students once asked, "Teacher, how long will it take to become fluent?" I explained, "It depends on how much you practice. Some people achieve fluency in a few months, while for others, it takes longer. The key is to keep going and never give up." This student, Rita, practiced every day and soon noticed her progress. Sometimes, practicing in front of a mirror can also help. When you see yourself speaking, you become more aware of your expressions and gestures. I had a shy student, Sarah, who was afraid to speak in front of others. I encouraged her to practice in front of a mirror. Over time, she became more confident and started speaking fluently in class. Another common question I get is, what should I do if I forget a word while speaking? My advice is simple. Don't stop. Keep talking. Sometimes the word will come to you later, and if not, use a different word. This strategy helped a student, Fahad, stay calm during conversations, and he stopped worrying about forgetting words. It's also important to take breaks. Your brain needs rest after long periods of practice. I had a student, Noor, who practiced non-stop and became frustrated because she felt stuck. I told her to relax and take short breaks. After giving her mind some rest, she came back feeling refreshed, and her fluency improved even more. Using the language in creative ways is another great way to practice. For example, you can write a story, sing a song, or even make a video. I had a student, Hira, who loved writing. She wrote short stories in English every day, which helped her practice new words and sentence structures. Eventually, she started reading her stories aloud, and her fluency improved. Another effective method is teaching others. When you teach, you learn even more. Sharing your knowledge not only builds your confidence but also reinforces what you've learned, helping you become even more fluent. I had a student, Maria, who was already quite fluent. Instead of stopping there, she decided to help her friends who were less fluent. She taught them new words and practiced speaking with them regularly. This not only helped her friends improve, but also strengthened her own fluency. Teaching others is a great way to reinforce your knowledge. Sometimes having a routine can make a big difference. Setting aside time daily for practice keeps you disciplined and consistent. I once had a student, Ali, who practiced speaking English every morning for 30 minutes. It became a part of his routine, and over time, his fluency improved noticeably. Sticking to a routine ensures steady progress. Patience is another key factor. Fluency doesn't happen overnight. I remember a student, Zain, who was very impatient. He wanted quick results, and when he didn't see immediate progress, he felt frustrated. I told him, be patient. Every small effort counts, and progress, even if slow, is still progress. Zain listened, stayed consistent, and eventually became more confident and fluent. Fluency isn't just about speaking, it's also about listening. Being a good listener helps you understand how to respond effectively. I had a student, Hina, who excelled in listening. She would carefully listen to others before speaking, which made her responses clear and thoughtful. Listening is an essential part of becoming fluent. A positive attitude is equally important. Learning a language can be challenging, but staying positive makes it easier. I had a student, Fatima, who never let her mistakes discourage her. She would smile, laugh at her errors, and try again. Her positivity kept her motivated, and she became fluent faster than many others. Sometimes, stepping out of your comfort zone is necessary to grow. I had a student, Ozma, who was comfortable speaking in class but very shy outside of it. I encouraged her to speak to people outside of school. At first she felt nervous, but with time and practice, her confidence grew, and so did her fluency. It's also helpful to learn from others who are fluent. Observing how they speak, their intonation, and their style can teach you a lot. I knew a student, Hamza, who admired a famous English speaker. He would watch his videos and try to imitate his manner of speaking. This practice helped Hamza improve his own fluency. Fluency is like cooking a delicious meal. It requires multiple ingredients, such as practice, patience, listening, speaking, and even making mistakes. Each part plays an essential role in the process. I once shared this analogy with my students, and it helped them see how every effort contributes to their learning journey. Finally, don't forget to celebrate small victories. Every new word learned or a sentence spoken without hesitation is an achievement. Celebrate these milestones because they keep you motivated and remind you of how far you've come. I once had a student, Ayesha, who celebrated every small achievement in her journey to fluency. Whether it was learning a new word or successfully completing a sentence without hesitation, she took pride in her progress. This habit of celebrating small victories kept her motivated and made her feel accomplished. Celebrating even minor achievements helps you see how far you've come and inspires you to keep moving forward. One day, a student, Hassan, asked me, "Teacher, what should I do if I get stuck while speaking?" I told him, it's okay to pause and think. Take a deep breath, gather your thoughts, and then continue. This simple advice helped him stay calm during moments of difficulty. Over time, he learned to manage his pauses, and his fluency improved naturally. Fluency also grows when you practice what you learn. If you learn a new word today, try to use it in a sentence tomorrow. I had a student, Zoya, who made it her daily goal to learn one new word and use it in conversation. This consistent practice helped her remember new vocabulary and use it effortlessly in everyday speech. Learning from your surroundings can also be a powerful tool. Sometimes you can pick up English from signs, posters, or even menus. A student, Farhan, loved exploring the city. Every time he saw an English sign or phrase, he would read it, try to understand it, and add it to his vocabulary. This habit helped him discover new words and phrases he could use confidently in conversations. Being curious about the culture behind the language is another important aspect of fluency. English is spoken in many countries, and each has its unique style and expressions. One of my students, Sarah, had a deep interest in British English. She would watch British TV shows and learn about their culture, which helped her understand various expressions and improve her fluency. Fluency is not just about words, it's also about body language. How you express yourself with gestures and expressions can make a big difference. I remember a student, Ahmed, who used body language effectively while speaking. Even with simple sentences, his gestures made him appear more confident and fluent, allowing him to communicate more clearly. Sometimes, challenging yourself can lead to great improvements. Speaking about unfamiliar topics is a fantastic way to expand your vocabulary and learn new ideas. It pushes you out of your comfort zone and helps you grow. Remember, fluency is not about being perfect, but about continuously learning and improving through practice and curiosity. One of my students, Ali, loved sports but wanted to expand his fluency by talking about science. At first, it was challenging for him, but as he continued learning new words and phrases related to science, he became more confident and fluent in discussing a variety of topics. This shows that stepping out of your comfort zone is essential for growth in language learning. Fluency also improves when you are relaxed. When you feel calm, your words flow more naturally. I had a student, Hina, who was always tense while speaking. Her nervousness would interrupt her fluency. I advised her to take deep breaths before speaking, and this simple technique helped her relax. Gradually, her fluency improved as she felt more at ease. Another effective way to build fluency is by staying curious and asking questions. When you ask questions, you naturally start conversations and engage with others. I had a student, Bilal, who practiced this every day. He would ask his friends about their opinions or experiences, which not only improved his fluency but also made him more confident in social situations. Learning from your environment is equally important. English is all around us, in signs, advertisements, and even on menus. A student of mine, Zara, loved exploring her surroundings. She made it a habit to read every English sign she came across and tried to understand the meaning. This daily practice helped her pick up new vocabulary and use it effectively in conversations. Understanding the culture behind the language can also boost your fluency. Each English-speaking country has unique expressions and accents. For example, a student, Sami, became fascinated with American English. He watched shows, observed their slang, and practiced their style of speaking. This made him not only fluent but also versatile in his communication. Fluency is a blend of speaking, listening, learning, and practicing regularly. When you combine these habits with curiosity and relaxation, your progress becomes steady and enjoyable. Remember, every small effort counts in the journey to becoming fluent. I once had a student who loved asking questions. He would engage his classmates in conversations about their hobbies, interests, and daily lives. This simple habit made him more fluent because he was always practicing and learning. Reflecting on your progress is equally important. Take a moment every few weeks to think about how far you've come. I had a student who kept a journal, writing about his achievements in English every week. Seeing his own progress motivated him to keep moving forward. Fluency is not just about hard work, it's also about being flexible and open-minded. Sometimes you need to rephrase your words to make yourself clearer. One of my students mastered this skill by adapting his sentences until others understood him. This ability to adjust made him fluent and confident. The journey to fluency becomes even more exciting when you learn with others. Joining English clubs or connecting with fellow learners helps you share experiences and stay inspired. I remember a student who joined a weekly English club. She practiced speaking with new people, stayed motivated, and her fluency improved significantly. Setting small, achievable goals is another key. Instead of saying, I want to be fluent, aim for something like, I'll learn 5 new words this week. Each goal you achieve boosts your confidence and builds fluency over time. Finally, remember to enjoy the journey. Find something you love in English, whether it's a book, a movie, or even poetry. One of my students loved English songs and learned to sing them. This passion made learning enjoyable and strengthened her skills. Fluency is like building a bridge. It takes time, patience, and effort. But with every word you learn and every sentence you speak, you're getting closer to your goal. So celebrate every step forward, no matter how small, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. They are a part of learning and growth. If you found these tips helpful, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel for more guidance on learning English. Let's walk this journey together. What inspires you to keep going in your fluency journey? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you.